This is a journey into sound. A journey which along the way will bring to you new color, new dimension, new values, and a new experience.
Welcome to the Ghee Spot Podcast. I'm your guide, Katie Silcox, bringing you your weekly self-love soundbite. Join us for conversations around sex, spirit, and all things self-care. All things self-care. All things self-care.
This is a journey into sound.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
You are a Ghee Spot Podcast with Katie Silcox.
Hey beauties, welcome to the Ghee Spot, where we are talking today about how to deal with allergies. I know we're a little behind what hopefully was the bulk of the Kapha season, the allergy season. We're moving into Pitta season. But for a lot of people out there, they're still dealing with Pitta Kapha type allergies. So this is something everyone probably needs to listen to. Even if you don't think that you have allergies, it's important to know the Ayurvedic perspective on allergies. And before we roll it out, just a quick note from our beloved sponsor, Ahara Ghee. This month, we are featuring their incredible Ayurvedic, cultured, highest good, live golden, nourish from within, heal from the inside out, best ghee on the planet, Ahara Ghee. It is traditionally made ghee. They use the purest form of the most wonderful A2 cows on the planet. It is dairy-free. Yes, dairy-free, because all of the milk solids have been removed. Lactose-free, and just one of the most amazing cooking oils on the planet. So check out our link in the show notes where we have a special code where you guys can get a discount on their turmeric and black pepper ghee, their lemon and garlic ghee, their chai spice ghee, their traditional beautiful ghee. They have one called brown butter ghee, which I've been using a lot. We love them. I love ghee.com, Ahara Ghee. Check them out. And as always, brought to you by Ayurveda School at the Shakti School. This year we start our program, Level 1, January. If you are on the fence, come on over. We're over here slathered in ghee and drinking rose tinctures and pretty much trying to love one another and know ourselves. That's really the essence of what we do at the Shakti School, and take radical responsibility for our own experience. It's all about self-mastery when we're talking about the spiritual path, guys. I know it sounds good, but it's not always easy. So what about Ayurveda and allergies? What a unique perspective Ayurveda has on allergies. Ayurveda understands that an allergy is the consequence of the allergen aggravating a specific dosha, whether that be Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. And so Ayurveda does this amazing thing where they break the allergy types down into doshas. And depending on which one gets triggered in you, you're going to treat it a different way. It doesn't have anything to do with your constitution. You could be a Vata person and get some sort of Pitta allergy. Like, for example, if you're a Vata person and you get stung by a bee, you're going to have an inflammatory, red, painful, rashy response. And so when we talk about allergies, typically what we are usually referring to is seasonal type allergies related to spring or sometimes fall and the Kapha dosha. But there are other types of allergies. For example, Vata type allergies, most people don't know, can cause the Vata type issues in the gut, like burping, bloating, intestinal sort of upset, colicky, dry stools, etc. So, there are different ways to express allergenic responses other than the type we associate with the spring allergy season. Things like ringing in your ears, joint pain, muscle twitching, even things like anxiety, insomnia, things like that can be related to Vata type allergy. And then, of course, how do I know what's going on? Like, how do I know if it's an allergy? And that's challenging, right? Because things can be hard to find the origin point. The point, though, is that if you know you have some of those symptoms, you've got a Vata aggravation. And so you'd want to work with a more Vata reducing diet and take herbs and lifestyle supports that reduce Vata. For Pitta, this is the classic type of allergy that you see on the skin, right? Stuff like hives, like I mentioned, the bee sting, rashes, itching, eczema, bloodshot eyes, having heartburn or loose stools, even things like hot flashes. So that type of thing we would want to really treat with a more Pitta reducing diet and Pitta reducing herbs. And then, if it's happening on the skin, Ayurveda offers lots of different beautiful ways in which we can soothe that. And so things like drinking aloe vera juice or gel, drinking cucumber water, drinking cilantro juice, putting soothing skin oils on, like coconut oil, is a very good cooling herb for Pitta type allergy. Neem oil is the most cooling of all the Ayurvedic oils, and that's a wonderful one to have. I'm going to, as always, put some of my links to just the best versions of these things in the show notes if you want it. And then, of course, there's the Kapha type allergies, and that is the kind that we're going to spend the most time on today, because those are the most common types of allergies that people tend to get in the spring. Why? Because that's when we have all of the explosion of Mother Nature and all of the pollen in the air. What's ironic is that the spring season, as well as the fall season, the spring and the fall transition periods are actually when our immune system is the most vulnerable. It's these big changes that our system has the hardest time with. And so it's a little bit unfortunate or ironic that during the very time of year when our system is a little bit more weakened, we have all of this pollen in the air that we have to digest. And so I want you to think about an allergy not as something that you have and you're going to have forever. People get very, very caught in, I have allergies and I've always had them and I'll have them forever. Well, that may be true because some things, we don't get rid of. But Ayurveda helped me understand allergies as an immune response from a weakened immune system. My Agni, in other words, my metabolic fire, has been dampened for whatever reason, right? My metabolism has reduced, and my immune system has become weakened at the very time when nature is asking me to digest more. So everything that you take in through the gateways of the senses has to be digested. Whether it's breathing in pollen through the nose or something touching your skin, we think about digestion as something purely we have to do in our gut from the food we eat. But actually, we have to digest every sensory impression, every smell, every taste, everything we breathe, all the toxins in the environment. All of those things have to be digested. So if you think about a beautiful flower and the pollen coming off of that flower, it's one more thing that has to be digested in our experience. And we love flowers and they're beautiful, but they have to be digested just as everything else. So what Ayurveda says is it's not that you necessarily have an allergy. We would say you have low Agni, meaning the digestive fire is low, and perhaps high Ama, meaning because that digestive fire is low, the toxicity starts to build up in the system and it creates a feedback loop. So at the Kapha season, we want to look at for any signs of compromised immunity. We want to reduce Ama, we want to reduce our toxic load, and we want to do that in a way that supports the immune system. So over and over and over again, I've experienced this in my life. If I'll just take a week and I do a dietary cleanse, or if I can, I go away and I do some kind of retreat cleanse situation, I don't get, knock on wood, any of the allergies. I don't get the colds. I don't get the flus. I'm okay. When I don't take a week off to do that and I just keep pushing through, I do get it. And this year I got the worst, gnarliest, coughalicious allergy cold situation I've had, and I do not remember how long. And well, of course, I didn't do my spring cleanse as I normally do. I'm doing it next week. I had to put it off until July almost, which is still great, right? The second best time to do a cleanse is any other time except for the dead of winter. But my point is, I didn't do my thing, right? And when I didn't do my thing, I got the gnarly whop of the allergy cold season. So cleanse, 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 cleanse. And guys, this doesn't have to be a big deal. Take 3 days, take 4 days, take 5 days, take 7 days, and just eat a simple, light mono diet. Basmati rice, maybe a little mung beans, maybe a little vegetables, maybe a little protein, maybe a little chicken or fish with a little bit of veggies, but cut out everything else. It's really that simple. People get way over worried about, like, how do I do this perfect Ayurveda cleanse? And what Ayurveda says is just eat light for a week. I mean, eat soup and basmati rice and maybe like a tiny, tiny piece of chicken. Do that every day. I mean, guys, don't overthink it. Like in Chinese medicine, you would eat, a vegetable soup with a little bit of rice noodles. That's their khichdi, right? In India, they eat rice and mung beans with a little bit of veggies and some ghee and some takra, which is buttermilk or milk and like a lassi, yogurt and water. In the United States, we could do, in the United States, we have all these different cultures. So the question is, like, what would your grandmother give you when you were sick? And my mom would give us like chicken noodle soup and maybe a piece of toast with butter or saltine crackers. And like that, there's so much wisdom in it. It's not about what the food is. It's about, is it light? Is it easy to digest? And can you eat a mono diet for a while? Some of you out there might be like, oh, well, I want to do fruits and vegetables. Rock on. If you are a Pitta or a Pitta Kapha and you can handle that, that's a great idea. The point is, do some kind of practice where you lessen the load on the system. And that, more than any other thing, will help you with seasonal allergies. What are some other ways? Let's talk about my top 10 Ayurveda strategies for eliminating allergies when the fall hits, or maybe you're still dealing with it from the Pitta Kapha season. I think I actually have 11. Are you guys okay with that? 11 Ayurveda strategies. Number 1, get a neti pot and use it if you can every single day. A little bit of 4th teaspoon of salt and warm water on both sides. And then use some Nasya oil, which is a medicated oil that helps keep the nasal channels lubricated. And it's one of the best ways for getting medicine to the brain as well. Number 3, check out herbs like Triphala. That's a great one for keeping your digestive system ama free. Trikatu means 3 peppers, and those are 3 spicy peppers that can just kind of keep things digesting. And it's the 3 T's: Triphala, Trikatu, and turmeric. Turmeric is one of the best anti-inflammatory, anti-allergen, anti-ama herbs. Wonderful to have that around in the allergy season. Number 4, as I said, reduce kapha increasing foods. In other words, reduce heavy foods like meat, wheat, cheese, caffeinated beverages, sugar, anything processed. Cut that out. And number 5, increase really wonderful warming spices like cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg. Those are all really good for supporting digestive health. Cumin, coriander, fennel, mint, all really wonderful. I try to put that in every meal. And I know it sometimes sounds in Ayurveda like we keep repeating ourselves, and that's because we do. It's so simple, but we get so caught in the whirlwind of life that, we can kind of forget the most simple things. Today I made a khichdi with some sesame seeds and some of the ghee from Ahara ghee. They're, what is that ghee called? It's called the Neti. It's an Ethiopian style ghee. And it was so good. And then I went out to my garden and I picked some fresh dill and I chopped that up and sprinkled that all over. And then I have some edible flowers and I just poured flower petals over it. Oh my God, you guys, I'm going to post a photo of it on our Instagram. So if you're not following me, check it out. It was so beautiful. And just taking that time to get the dill and get the flowers, it just made all the difference in the world. Number 6, exercise. Yes, move. We need to move pretty much every hour. You should be getting up, stretching, moving, and then getting some kind of vigorous exercise, even if it's just a good long walk every single day. On that note, de-stress. Stress, of course, we all have heard it a million times. Stress, actually, it's not the stress, it's our perception of reality and the stress it causes us that harms our immune system or dampens our immune system. So, oh God, you guys, I have to tell myself this all the time. Just what is this going to matter a month from now, a year from now, or 10 years from now? Absolutely nothing, probably. Number 8, dry brush your skin. Get a dry brush. Dry brush your skin is so good for helping boost our body's lymphatic system and that ability to detoxify. Oil is another thing you can add to that regime. I like to lymph brush and then oil in the springtime and early summer. Number 9, add some of my favorite immune boosters into your Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia. And my favorites right now are Tulsi and ashwagandha. They're just really good supportive herbs. They help, they're adaptogens. So they help your system adapt. They help your system have resiliency. They help your system withstand the stress that, guys, look, none of us are going to avoid it, right? We can't. We're all coming onto this planet with a certain lesson to learn. We're all coming onto this planet to achieve our destiny. We're all here to burn karma. I mean, it's just a part of the game. It's really, really what it's all about. And then number 10, watch your food combining. So food combining is really, really big in terms of how to avoid buildup of ama. So just in general, you want to, if you're eating like beans, if you're eating beans as a protein, you want to avoid fruit with that, eggs, fish, any other kind of meat with it. Beans and meat don't mix. Beans and fruit don't mix. That kind of seems intuitive. Similarly, I know eggs and fruit don't mix, and people get upset with this one because like people go on vacation and they'll have eggs with their breakfast fruit. And like with all of these food combining rules, if you have good digestion, you don't have to worry about this as much as someone who does have a lot more ama or a weakened immune system. Also, if you have been combining things for a really long time, for example, there are people that eat like ham with melon, right? Or cheese with fruit. If you've been doing that since you're a kid, your system's going to be able to handle it better. But these are just general rules that will help increase your digestive capacity. Fruit in general likes to be eaten alone. Grains can be eaten with pretty much everything. Honey, awesome, but don't eat it with ghee by equal weight. So if you want to have honey in a much smaller amount than your ghee or a much higher amount than your ghee. What else? You don't want to mix lemon with cucumbers. You don't want to mix lemon with milk or tomatoes or yogurt. That's kind of intuitive. Melons, I remember learning melons. Eat them alone or leave them alone. Melons just like to be eaten with themselves. They're jealous in that way. They're really like to have their own place on your plate. In general, you don't want to do milk with bananas and cherries, melons. Milk with sour fruits don't mix. You want to avoid milk with fish. Milk doesn't do so well with meat either. So that might be surprising for people that grew up eating milk and cereal with bananas on top, like me. I grew up eating that, and so if I eat that tomorrow, it's not going to bother me that much, but it's not going to help me either. In general, nightshades like potatoes and tomatoes and eggplant, you want to avoid eating those with melons and cucumbers and dairy products. And, in general, you just want to make sure that you're eating only to the point right before you start to feel full. And I've said that many times on this podcast, waiting until that first burp comes, and that really shows you when your system is full. What I've found in my experience is so much more important how much you eat and what state you're in than what you eat. I'm going to repeat that. What state your heart and mind are in and how much is way more important than what. If you're in a beautiful, loving state, you're with your friend, you guys are having a great conversation, you feel seen and loved and accepted, and maybe they made you a meal that wasn't the best food combining, and you eat the right amount until you're satiated, but you don't go overboard. That meal is going to digest so much better than if you eat this perfect Ayurvedic khichdi and you're rushing around and you're in a bad mood and you're feeling lonely and you eat like 8 plates full. So this is a really great way of reducing ama, increasing your digestive fire to a balanced level. And guys, next time that allergy season rolls around, you're going to do so much better. I hope that you share this with your cousin or your brother or somebody out there that needs a little bit of help with allergies. And maybe you'll get them interested in Ayurveda, and maybe they just might want to do a little khichdi cleanse this fall with us. So, or they can just Google it, y'all. This isn't rocket science here. Do a cleanse, take these herbs, dry brush your body, and love one another. My goodness, love one another. And the most important thing, freaking take how do I want to put this? Take the pressure off yourself, right? Start to love yourself. Easier said than done, but that's what we're here doing, guys. All right, my loves, as usual, we've got a bunch of link in the show notes for you to take free courses with me, for you to get in Ayurveda school. We've got our beauties at the I Love Ghee, Ahara folks, their special discount code in the show notes. So make sure you catch that. All right, my loves, I am going to see you next week and we'll continue. Have a great summer.